to keep, everyone on time and in and out is not as quick as possible, but we're hoping to keep it at an hour. Thanks for coming, everybody, especially on such a nice night or night. Okay, so I think you all have the agenda in front of you. We are just going to go over a little bit about how we would like the meeting to run. We're thinking that we would like to go through the whole agenda first, and then if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, that we can do that after we get through the agenda, just to, stay respectful of everyone's time. And then I think we wanted to just point out that, do you align with the mission anyway? Yeah. Okay, so we are changing the bylaws a bit, and that's something that we'll talk about in a second, but we sort of revamped the mission, and we just wanted to keep everyone aware that, we're all volunteers, nobody's getting paid, we're all working together, we're all here for the unified spirit of Merton Community School District. So there's no that's the motive, that is our goal, and that is what we're going for. So that's something that we are going to do at every meeting, is just remind everyone that's what we're here for. We're here for the kids and the staff, and that's. We are going to do some introductions. I guess I'll go first because I'm already talking. My name is Crystal Cressy. I have 3 kids that go to Merton. Milo's my oldest. He is 10. He's coming into the intermediate school this year, so he'll be in 5th grade. Mayla is my only daughter, and she is going into 3rd grade. And then I have Finn, who's just coming into 4K this year as well. And then a little bit about myself currently, besides taking on this role. I am I guess you would say a stay-at-home mom, but I'm never at home, so I am, but if I'm there, it's like I'm in my garden. We have chickens. We sort of have a hobby farm, trying to have a hobby farm. And with the PTO, it's it's a lot. Anyway, if you guys ever want to come see some chickens, we have 14 of them. What else? Oh, my prior work was not anything in school or farming or anything like that. I used to work in pretrial services with adults that were looking at serving some time for a crime, and I was their case manager while they were not incarcerated. So big difference, I guess, from that to this. I think that's it. I think we're going to put out some introductions on our Facebook page, which, by the way, is up and operating. We have been posting on there. It isn't getting as much traction, I think, as we would like it to get. So if every once in a while you guys want to check it, that would be cool. If you like it, that would be even better. Like the whatever we post. If you make a comment, it gets even better. Like the more interaction that we have, the better it appears to be. So, Katie, you're up next.
Okay, I'm Katie Farshman. I have a little guy who will be a 2nd grader and a daughter who is 3.5. She'll be in preschool this fall. I own my own business doing marketing consulting on the part-time, and I like snowmobiling. That's a fun fact. And
I did not know that.
Really? Yep, we are snowmobilers, and I recently reeled in, my husband will not appreciate this story, I reeled in his personal best fish. Recently, he's claiming it as his personal best, but I reeled it in. A 34-inch northern pike.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did he do?
He touched it. I didn't touch it. I don't touch fish, so it was like oozing slime and gross, and that was enough for me. But I did the work.
Did you keep it?
No, it's gross. Anyway, thank you. What's next?
All right. I'm Brooke Beal. I'm likely a new face to most of you here. My family moved in February of last year. from Franklin. So I have a first grader, Bronson, and then an incoming 4K, Nellie, who will be here. And right now I'm a stay-at-home mom, but prior to that I was at Baird in their corporate finance department for 15 years. So, financial background.
Do you have a
I
fun
don't have a fun story. I was not prepared for that. I'll think of one later.
I know, I'm like, what can I think?
We'll think of one. Okay.
I am Tracy Walter. We moved into the district in December of 2019. I have a daughter who's going into 6th grade and a son going into 4th grade. You might have heard my name before because I substitute teach in the school. So if you've been in the school, there's a chance your children will have you. Fun fact time, I enjoy jumping on an airplane.
Really?
Wow.
Wow, that explains.
I did not know that.
There's more, but we're out of time.
Okay, so I accidentally jumped through past the meeting flow. I mean, whatever. I mean, not that it's like a solid, you can't say anything during the meeting, obviously, but we just were trying to be respectful of this time. So we can move on to the survey results. I don't know if you guys all got to see the survey, fill it out. If you did, great. If not, you really missed out. And Katie has some of the results if you wanted to. I don't know if you want to.
Sure. So we sent out the survey around August 1st, 2nd. That was through Dr. Russ's communication. He sent out an email to the parent community, including a link to a survey. And with that, we were looking for people to volunteer for committees or express their interest in committees. Of those, we had 94 individual participants, which I think is pretty cool. And interestingly, we had a 50-50 split exactly of those who want to help versus those who are not ready to help at this time. Or that's what they're claiming, right? So that was an interesting split. But of those who want to volunteer, 75% said they want to come to an in-person meeting, and the remaining 25% would like to view the online version. So fascinating. And then of those who don't want to commit to volunteering, we found that 44.7% are still interested in viewing the online version. 31.9% don't want to participate at all, and 23% still want to come to the in-person meeting. So interesting data that I have just like the numbers, so that was interesting. And then from that, what you'll see over on the wall here on the table, we have the list of all the committees and how those broke down based on people expressing their interest for one committee over another, or people expressed interest in multiple committees. By signing that, that's not like a lifetime commitment in any way. You're welcome to join at any point. It's based on your time and availability and your interests, and as your kids grow and your time changes, like, please give us what you can, give as much as or as little as you can. But number-wise, the Finance Committee had 8 people, Communications Committee had 4, Events, which is non-fundraisers, had 24 people, Fundraising Committee had 8, Staff Support Committee had 29, and the Election Committee is 6 people. So those numbers we're hoping will grow as the school year continues, because new people will want to join and help in whatever capacity that they're able. But that's kind of where we're starting. And that brings us to, we're going to get to that in a minute. Okay, so next. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. My flow is off.
We did not practice this beforehand, so
Yes.
yeah. We don't have time to practice, but so you get us on the fly. So yeah, Katie hit that new volunteers are welcome to join any time. So our new meeting day and time, that was another thing that was, I think that was brought to the attention last year with the prior board, was that the time frame was really hard for teachers to get to, and families, especially parents that are working. A 2:45 time, multiple barriers to that time. They actually put out a survey monkey, I believe it was, to get some info on what would be a better time of day, or what time of day people preferred, maybe not better time, what time people preferred. 6 p.m. was what they said was in the lead for timing. So we are going to move forward with that time for now. It is, all of this stuff can change at any point in time. If there's ever any, issues, good arguments that come up, whatever, we can work together to change it. But for now, we're going to stick with the same day, which is the second Wednesday of each month, 6 p.m. And we're going to do it in here. I think this is probably enough space. I don't know what to expect as far as people showing up, but we have the technology in here. It's a very nice space. Yeah, it's a very nice space. This is actually my first time in here. I didn't know this existed. It's so nice. Okay, and then another thing that we talked about, a barrier to people coming to these meetings, is that, you could bring your kids. That would be totally fine. However, we all know that that's a harder thing to do. You have to keep them entertained somehow. So we were talking about offering childcare at some point. The childcare would be offered through the Student Senate, possibly NJHS, which is National Junior Honor Society. Katie did talk to
Mrs. Nemchak, through Student Senate, and she said that their group would probably be interested in offering childcare. So it's just a matter of, we would have to facilitate like some kind of sign up in advance so we know how many students are needed to come and watch the younger kiddos, and then also supply some adult supervision as well, kind of like a ratio that we would have to figure out just to make sure that all our bases are covered. So we'd have to have some kind of sign up option with that so that we're not having a ton of Student Senate kids there when we don't actually need them. But that's something we're looking to do, to offer to our community.
Brooke will talk about that in a second. So, if you guys know anybody that is Ashley,
I will call it.
great. Thank you so much.
Oh,
yeah.
writing your name down. It's going to be official.
Please feel free to volunteer others as well. But so what I'm hoping is like other people can take a look at them, we can make some changes, and then at our next meeting would be when we actually like vote the bylaws in. So, and everyone would have a chance to review them prior, so if there were any like major discrepancies, you could voice that before we vote them in. So we're currently operating no bylaws, no. So that's all I got. If you guys know anybody, besides Ashley, if there's anyone else that would like to read through them, let us know. Let me know.
We can offer those out easily. Share them to the world.
I could do it. Okay, and then number 6, a brief insurance discussion. So, prior to, something that we learned is that PTO was not carrying insurance that we know of previous to right now. We are also not currently carrying insurance. It's something that we're looking into, but it is something that we do need to have. So it's an expense that is coming up that has not been purchased before. So we want to let parents know that, some of the money that comes in as a donation or through fundraising is going to go to an umbrella policy for events that occur outside of the school day. So, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but if we have an event during the school day where the kids are in school, it's a regular school day, and something were to happen, which hopefully that never does, but if something did, the school policy would cover that because it's an activity or event during the school day.
Correct.
If it's something that happens after hours, some of the things like Fall Fest is something that's after hours. Just because it's at school doesn't mean that school is covering it. School is just the facility. We need our own coverage. So one of the places that I have yet to call is Dros Countryside in Merton. It's a Merton family runs the insurance company. So hoping to reach out to them and see if they can give us a quote. Again, same deal. If you guys know someone that works in insurance or, maybe, I don't know, anyone that has some experience with that, we're willing to hear those things as well. Okay, committee chair selection. So also just a brief, I don't know if you guys were involved in the PTO before or not, or went to the meetings last year, but previously they did not have committees. I don't want to say they didn't have them. They had committees, but they didn't really have like a group of individuals to assist with those committees. And what we're hoping for is that we can have these committees that are listed here: finance, staff support, communications, events, fundraising, and election. Those were the committees that the previous board had listed. It's just that they never had like a dedicated chair. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think
what ended up happening was the previous group kind of held dual roles as board members, president, whatever, and then also chaired a lot of the committees. So what we're looking to do is to try and, we don't want to hold any of those committee chairs. We want people to volunteer and say that that's something that they would like to take on that leadership role and contribute to the PTO in that way in managing that particular committee and that group of people. Should I talk more a little bit about that? So our goal is, assuming if you would like to be a committee chair, of which we have two people who, Kristen Miller is going to be our staff support committee chair, and Rachel Krenke is going to be fundraising. But we're looking to fill out the balance of that. And if you want to be a committee chair, the great thing is you're going to get a lot of autonomy to do things how you want. Of course, taking into consideration your committee and your group of people, but having your committee and running it how you best see fit for your committee. So we would like for you to kind of have a meeting, and however that looks, if that's in person or a virtual option, we can help you with that. But ultimately working with your group, really facilitating good communication, planning the events, or in the case of like fundraising or events, like what is the capacity that your group has to coordinate X number of events, and what are those going to look like? That's to you guys to decide. And then the rest of us PTO members will come in and volunteer and help you run that event. But it's your group making those decisions and deciding your capacity to make that event or that fundraiser or staff support or whatever it is. You guys are the ones to decide it. And of course, the rest of us are still here to support you and to offer our volunteer time and expertise and skills and all that sort of thing, but you guys are the group to decide it. So with that, what we talked about yesterday in our overly long phone call, was there a question? No, sorry, I saw a hand raised. That we're hoping to get some self-identifying committee chair volunteers tonight or soon. And if we don't hear from people tonight that they want to self-volunteer for a committee chair position, what we'll do is we'll send an email out to the committees, as you probably got an email. What day was that? Monday that I sent that email?
Yeah.
Monday evening, you may have gotten an email saying, congratulations, you're on communications committee, Jesse. So, congratulations. So, those messages went out. We'll send out that message again to the group and you guys figure out a way to kind of sort it out yourselves. Is kind of what we're hoping. Sorry. Like, we don't want to put people on the spot here. It feels awkward and bossy. So we don't want to do that. But we do need people to step up and volunteer because as it turns out, we're already kind of behind schedule. School starts in 2 weeks or 3 weeks and we have nothing planned. Well, we have some ideas, but we have nothing planned and we need to get going. So thank you.
Well, yes.
We have things planned. We have ideas, but nothing like rolling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So who wants to volunteer?
Okay, so
No?
so what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually hold that though.
Hold that.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But we are hoping that at the end of the meeting, we can talk about who wants to identify as a potential chair. And then we are asking that it can be a self-nomination, or if you feel like there's someone else maybe that was in that group that would be a really good leader, please feel free to nominate them. I mean, let them know, but say, hey. That's kind of how boards tend to work sometimes, and not everyone is super gung-ho about being in the leadership positions. So, sometimes we have to be like, no, you would be a really good person for it, and just, twist arm a little bit. I don't know. But, so we're hoping that everyone will be able to have their nominations by the 1st. Our next meeting is the 13th. Yeah, 13th. So we would want to actually formally, after we put the bylaws to, a formal vote and vote them in, hopefully, that we would also be able to have the nominations in and vote in the chairs. We're trying to follow Robert's rules, which is what many boards follow. We're not trying to be like super crazy about it, but enough that things are legitimate. And so that would be one of the things, is that we would vote in then the chairs. And then, I think that's it.
We're really fun, the board here. We are really fun to work with. Mrs. Heinley, we're really fun. We're really fun. We have meetings sometimes through like a video chat. We're busy moms.
Yeah,
So
and I'm walking down the driveway in the dark, and they're like, where did Crystal go? And I'm like, I'm getting my veggies from the end of the driveway.
Yeah.
That's
So-
cool.
yeah,
Super fun.
well, we have meetings at my house at the pool. We are, we're making dinner while we're talking. Seriously, we're video chat having dinner. So it's casual. We have a lot of things we need to get done, and we welcome the new volunteers with open arms. And lots of fun. I'm serious.
I know that you are.
Jesse, are you? I'm embarrassing myself.
We are also a comedy show on the side. So, okay, moving on. Past committees. Yes, we are. Yes, we just, and also wait, before we move on. Obviously, we would really value anyone that's interested in volunteering, because it seems like a ton of work to be part of the PTO, and so we just want to be able to share the ton of work.
Hey, it's not that much
Many hands
work.
make light work, right?
Yes, it's true.
Yes.
All right, moving on.
Okay, so another thing, and this could probably have been put under bylaws, but teacher liaisons, we are looking to have, as part of the board, 2 liaisons, one from the intermediate school, one from the primary school, because we do feel like the staff needs representation on the PTO as well. The principals are going to be I don't know what you call it, but honorary members of the PTO as well. So they will always be sitting as part of the board. They are non-voting members though. And then the teachers actually can be parts of committees and things like that too. So there's no rules against that or anything. But we have we have two people interested. We are working that out still. Apparently Tracy's working that out. So just so you guys know, there will be staff sitting on the board as well, which we thought was something that didn't happen, at least in recent times, that we were aware.
And, can I just add a thing?
Yeah,
So,
your hands in.
I know, I'm really chilly,
Wow,
sorry.
don't touch me
So you all saw your parent survey. We sent a similar version out to the teachers and staff to ask them about their interest in participating in the 6 p.m. meeting as well, and how we can help them, how we can support them in school. We tried to roll kind of all the questions into one survey to kind of poll them, and so far we only have 10 responses, which is not a surprise because they're not checking their phones and emails and stuff right now. That being said, next week, Tuesday, is the day that the teachers have to report back to school. So which one of us are available, me for sure, will be coming and are you coming? Is your car gonna work?
I am, I don't think I'm.
Okay, we'll sort it out. But I will be here for sure to introduce myself as a board member of the PTO and make a quick little speech and enthusiastic, for you, and please participate in the PTO if they're able to. So just an FYI that happened and it is in progress.
Did you have a comment, Ron?
No, I'm good. We should talk about when you're gonna do that.
When? You told me I could.
Yeah, I know, but I
Okay. I'll be there.
so
and
remind me when I told you you could.
I'm gonna have.
It's like 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
5 minutes, baby.
That's all we need.
Making it 15.
Really?
We'll talk.
I thought it was
Whoa.
like 45 minutes.
Anyway,
Well, if it's 15 minutes, I'm like,
Other than the 10 teachers that responded, was it?
Okay, so the way that I said that, yes, so the question was, what's the general response for those 10 survey results so far? Which of course, it's a very small percentage of our staff. And so the way that I formatted that survey is a little different than the parent survey you saw. It's because we broke it down to say, are you a primary teacher? Are you a primary staff member? Are you an intermediate teacher or staff member? So right now, I believe it's like, I said I have 10 responses. I think 6 are intermediate teachers and staff and 4 primary. So generally, it's overwhelmingly positive. And an interest in participating in the PTO, it was fun because they were writing in the answers, which I didn't even know they could do. But they were saying like, we love the PTO and we appreciate the coffee and like just kind of random things. But generally 3 or so said yes, they want to participate out of the 10. 1 person said yes when their kid gets older. So like all these interesting kind of exceptions, but generally yes. So I'm hoping that next week, once I make my enthusiastic speech, or whoever is there, the teachers and staff will feel compelled to complete that survey, not only because they'll want to, but they're going to contribute their information, which will be valuable to our staff support committee, because there was some information in there that we wanted to collect specifically about, like, would you like us to handle room clearance again or not? And so that'll kind of guide the direction that staff support committee may be a part of.
Katie, we'll kick it back out if you get to the top of the mailbox.
Okay.
There'll be a lot in there.
they
Yeah.
had also a different time frame on their survey.
Yeah.
So like the parent survey we asked to end this past Sunday. The teacher survey, I think it's the 31st.
I think I said labor.
We did like, later on after they had already returned back to school. So, maybe it was a more of a, something they could do another setting. I don't know, class or something, I don't know. Treasurer update.
You ready for the best part of the meeting? All right, so from a financial standpoint, as of July 31st, we had a balance of $880. The previous PTO was able to do a lot of great stuff last year. However, the issue is we did not have a spring fundraiser to help bring over for this year's funds. We've already seen donations come through the registration process, so thank you to everyone that's donated so far. That will really help us kick off some of these beginning of the year activities that we'll talk about shortly. From a treasure role priority, we'll be starting fresh from an accounting software perspective. The historical software was lost prior to the transition to me, so in the future, I will have a significantly better update for month-to-date, year-to-date activity once we kind of get that established. But throughout the year, if you ever have any questions and want to dive into details, I'm happy to talk math to you. That's great. I will always be here to, be transparent on what our funds are coming in from and what we're going to be spending in the future.
Okay. That was really positive.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to ask a question.
Yeah.
So if the information and historical data was lost, did we at least get like the tax forms from the prior years or annual reports?
So the previous treasurer is working on the taxes and the forms and the statements. So
We have a date. We will see that.
I do not have a date, so but I can reach out to her. I know they were working on getting it as soon as possible to get that just done and off the plate. So that will be something that I would hope in the next couple of weeks we'll have figured out.
Is any of, do we currently have any operating costs that you know of? And is that 800 spoken for at all?
So the biggest open item is the insurance. Is the main one that we're trying to figure out as soon as possible, so we know how much that will cost.
Well, that and the cost for the open house lunch.
Well, that's not operating.
Yeah.
Not operating. The other operating cost would be the bank account does charge fees on certain things. Brooke and I were talking just briefly today that we might consider looking into another bank. The online software for Town Bank is terrible. Sorry if you bank there or whatever. I mean, I don't know. But the online software for the business part of it is just not really user friendly. But we were hoping to sort of have the finance committee and Brooke work together to talk about some of those things. Even the software, they were using QuickBooks. We don't need to use QuickBooks. If there's no historical data, we can do whatever we want at this point. But yeah.
But that will be another thing we'll be talking about, because obviously if we want to purchase a new software, that's going to cost money. But it may be beneficial if we want to move to a cloud system. We won't have this issue going forward when we are transferring roles, you are not transferring from PC to PC. So it's something that we're going to have to discuss on how much of that cost we want to take on for that software. And what makes sense for us.
Will you be comfortable doing the tax and all that kind of stuff at the end of the year?
So
Or do we have to?
as of now, I'm not comfortable because I have not seen what has been done historically.
Right.
Taxes are not my expertise, so I am so open to anyone helping if that is something that you are more knowledgeable about. That would be great.
Yes,
But
attorneys, tax prep.
I was going to say, I'm actually a tax CPA, so
Wow.
I did.
Guys, she didn't volunteer, she was just saying.
Welcome to the team.
All in favor? So, the one thing I did want to note on the taxes is that previously it was also someone in the district. It was not the current treasurer, but it was the treasurer just before her. And she is still doing the taxes, but is opting out of doing the taxes any further from here forward. So they will do the taxes for the past year, and then now you're doing the taxes.
So they will do tax year 23, meaning filing
Yeah.
next year? Okay.
No,
And they've
no,
already
no,
filed
no.
22?
They have not filed 22 yet. So the fiscal year ended 7/31. So that is due in October.
Yeah.
So they'll be working on doing that now.
I'm so glad you're here.
Okay, and then, the only other thing, Rachel, for operating costs, insurance, fees for the bank, which we are gonna look into, but there is also fees for businesses on PayPal, Venmo, Square, all of those lovely things that everyone wants.
The website right now has been, we're kind of at a net zero right now on the website. They purchased the domain name and renewed that, and I don't have the number in front of me, so I honestly don't even know like for what duration that payment was made for. But the website that exists out there currently is a proprietary software that there was no cost to use. And the new site that I'm working on developing is a Google site, and there is no cost to that as well. So it'll just be the ongoing cost of the domain name and keeping that registered going forward. But so relatively nothing at this point.
Something
From the existing current PTO that,
previous PTO, you're the PTO.
okay, well, I'm saying the website.
Oh, yeah.
The MertonPTO.org that exists on the internet at this moment, she is the manager of. I am managing this new Google site, so we're talking about the transition to get the internet to point to my new site. That's what we're having a conversation about. Coming soon.
Yeah.
And so the new site, which I am excited about, and open for suggestion, please. So if you find some kind of glitchy thing or like, oh, this would be really cool to have this feature. First, again, we have no money to spend on it. But if it's something that I can do within the system and make something more functional for parents or users of the site, I want to know that. But in the meanwhile, we've got some cool things, and the whole point is to boost the communication and see the opportunities and activities that we're going to have, events and fundraising committee. But those volunteer opportunities will be centrally located in multiple places on the website, but accessible in a way that is a way that you can find it easily.
It looks very nice, what I've seen so far.
Thanks, that's really nice.
So Lori bragging about things, I'm a software.
Well, we love you too.
You know what we should have done is everyone should have just gone around the room and told like their fun fact, but it should have been like what you.
Yeah, what can you provide us?
We're gonna just
Skills.
end the meeting.
Yeah.
Now that we hear it all. now
How
we
can you
just go
serve
back.
us?
Right,
Okay.
All in favor. You know what, there's an opening on the communications committee.
I think
Just
it's
look at it.
It's called the.
Yeah.
And we're really fun. Okay.
Okay, but to Rachel's second half of that, when she asked if that money was spoken for, we do have to supply lunch, which we will talk about later. So some of that money does need to be used for something that is coming up.
Good job talking about. No, in 2 minutes. Okay, so future fundraisers. So we were talking about doing a really cool first day of school fundraiser. Hoping to talk with Rachel, who's on the fundraising committee. But we're hoping to do like a. Do I want to say anything, or are we just gonna keep it in the dark?
I think
that's just we have no. I'm not going to say anything because we are not 100% on it. We have talked with a local business about doing something on the first day of school.
So what we'll say is we've gotten a lot of opportunities and information over the course of the summer. And now that we have committees in place, we're ready to disperse it to the appropriate committees and let you guys run with that information and decide yay or nay, yes or no. do we wanna go on this, whatever. So we're gonna pass it off to the fundraising committee to make the decision on the next steps.
There is a fundraiser coming up. It's called the National Run at Work Day, and Mrs. Higgins, the new primary school principal, was the primary person behind this. That's something that they did at her old school district, and it was a really fun event, and it was something that she wanted to do here as well. She did put out the date for it being September 27th. And she did say that the PTO could potentially partner with that event. In what capacity was not 100% clear, so that was also something that we would disseminate out to, the fundraising committee to just see what they can find out about that. But that is a solid event. It is coming up. Info was put out to staff already, I believe, right? Okay. So it's a potential partner for us, depending on what that committee decides.
Can I ask a question?
Did that go to the intermediate school too?
Not yet. She asked me if I wanted to participate in that yet, but I haven't talked to staff yet. But I did have a staff member who was interested in it, so just like you, I like to delegate chairs as well. So I have a teacher that I might, he's coming tomorrow actually, so I'm talking about that.
Just don't want.
They could still run if they wanted. Sure.
Other future fundraisers that are on there. In the past, they used to do a bowling fundraiser. I also talked to the local bowling alley and got a little bit of information. Bounce houses was a big one. That was always the fall fundraiser. And then restaurant nights, Culver's nights, we were talking about, we don't have to just solely stick to Culver's. That's a great place and everyone loves it, but we could also potentially partner with some other restaurants in the area. All something just to think about for upcoming. And then open house is the big one coming up. It's August 29th. We have a sign of Genius made and do it here when all of the staff is together for their photo. They get their photo and then they can grab their lunches and go. So if they need to go over to the primary, they can just take their stuff, head out. We did look into some places to have some things donated, and that was really kind of, I don't want to say a dead end, but we didn't get any special deals or anything. So on the Sign of Genius, there is a place to donate money for the main entree, which we figured that we could pay to supply at least the sandwiches. We don't know exactly where that will be from. If anyone works in a sandwich shop, let us know right now. Nope, see, no one. Okay. Although we do know some families that work at Merton that have donated things in the past, and that was very, very generous. We have talked to a couple of them. This just isn't the right thing for those specific places right now, I think. Anyway, so that Sign Up Genius is coming out. Look for it. Sign up. Donate if you can. If anyone has some great idea for the sandwich portion of it, let us know.
How many teachers are we, teachers and staff are we providing them for?
Approximately 100.
100?
Jimmy John's.
So fast and free?
They're cheaper than Cousins.
Is it? Okay, I looked into Cousins. August
Tuesday,
29th. I looked into Cousins. I think it would have been about $600. So with $800.
Look at the Costco.
Oh.
Yeah. So I went back and forth, or I should say I don't know. I guess I'll say I went back and forth between do we pay for the main entree of sandwiches, or do we, do hey, go buy this at Costco, everyone sign up for one thing. It just seemed easier and more cohesive to keep it as we'll just purchase that part from somewhere. But yes, Costco does have a sandwich platter that we could order
Or talk to our food service people too.
Yes, and that's something that we,
Is there something with food service, like, wasn't that last year, one of the meetings, something came out about food service where you had to, if there was food that was brought into the school during the day, it had, which is weird to me because there were a lot of donations, like pizzazz came in, a lot of different picnic baskets came in. But someone said that they had to use, there was parameters around using food service. Do you know anything about that?
We'll work with the committee chair or whoever wants to do that. There's some recommendations and there's some things that we can work through. Mostly it's surrounding students if they're part of the national lunch program and things like that. There's some nutritional standards. But for staff, we're really not too concerned about that.
Okay, then maybe that's where it was.
Not that we're not concerned about
They're on their own.
yeah.
they have different rules. Adults obviously have different rules than what we can do with children. So that's really where you get into from a standpoint of bringing Domino's in for a student lunch. That's kind of where you get into some of those national lunch standards where that's why we would just recommend people just use our pizza service at the school. So that's really where we kind of take a look at that. That's why you don't see vending machines and stuff like that too as well. So that's more on the student side. The adult side, wide open.
Gotcha.
But I would utilize our food services. Really nice job at a very economical cost.
Okay.
Um,
And that's Bethany?
Bethany,
She's still?
yep.
Okay.
Another thing that we are looking to do at open house is have a PTO table, just so, you know, other than you guys who are here hearing this now, new families coming in, whoever else, literally anyone at school. I think there has been a misconception that PTO, you have to pay to be involved in it, and that is not the case at all. Everyone that has a student at this school is a PTO member, or if you work at the school, you're just automatically a PTO member. You don't have to pay any money. But I think that people aren't aware of that. So we are building a little brochure and hoping to just have that out on the tables and be able to give some.
Sorry.
Okay, and you're fine. Just give some info about, you know, what we hope to do and
Communicate out to the parents at large that
Yeah.
we are free and fun.
anyway, there's a sign up genius for that as well.
Yeah.
So, and right now it's 2 hours of time per, you know, at each table or at the table. There's one for each school. If you can't do 2 hours, that's fine. I mean, there's 2 slots.
Find a friend.
Yeah. Whatever, anything that anyone can do is better than, you know, just brochures sitting on a table. So,
And where are these sign-up geniuses going to be?
that is a great question. These sign-up geniuses are going to be in our meeting minutes that we are going to post onto our Facebook page, and our secretary is going to do that. Now she knows. They will be available eventually or the meeting minutes agenda, other things will eventually be available on the website. We're not posting them there now because it's kind of like in lieu right now, or in limbo. But mostly Facebook is going to be the current place that we can get information out easily. We don't want to be like sending 1,000 emails, so not right now. I just don't think they're going to get read. There's more pressing emails for like registration and things like that. So,
Anytime you want something pushed out too, let me know. I can push out on this more.
it's more.
So here's, you know, food needed for whatever. Here's the sign up genius, or even if it's early on, here's the link to the Facebook page for PTO. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Here's the link. So anytime you need something pushed out to you, obviously most of from my end or the people I'm reading it, just send that to me.
Yeah, Kristen, myself, everything. I mean, we can push a lot of these because more and more communication is going to be coming out to families. So if you want them to know something regarding PTO, you just let us know.
Yeah.
When's the deadline to have those put in the store? At least I.
Well, I guess too, sometimes because it's from both buildings too, sometimes it's easier, even sometimes when it comes from Ron, from a building or from a district-wide piece. I mean, I can sort of put it on smaller lot. I do one every try to send one every Friday.
But you have a date, I know last year there was a date, you had to have something submitted by if you wanted it included in the story.
That was in the Mustang memo, I think. For me, as long as you get it to me before Friday morning. If you write the blurb
So
for me,
Thursday
it's really
at
fast.
Thursday at night.
Kind of like
Thursday at
basketball, right?
Thursday afternoon.
We'll be emailing him Friday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll try to push, yes, we'll definitely be utilizing that. And, yeah, any way we can get it out for now, but also eventually the website. But yeah, for those sign up geniuses, I mean, they're available now, we can put them on Facebook tonight, I mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
While you're
Now.
scrolling in bed tonight,
Right,
Sign up.
look for PTO.
and share it too, I mean,
Tell
not
your
everyone
friends.
wants to share a PTO post, but, or you could just just pass it along somehow. Okay, notes. PTO is using some of the money to supply a snack for 5th grade night, which I will be at because Milo will be there for his intro into the middle school, the intermediate school. The snack is probably just going to be popsicles because it sort of meets all of the potential allergy things, and it's very inexpensive. I think it's 80-ish, right? How many? We don't know. We'll have to figure out how many.
fifth graders?
We've got 90 or 80, 23, so 92.
All right. So basically 100 pounds.
100. 100 will get you.
So not a big deal. We should be able to get that at relatively cheap from Sam's Club or Costco. Next.
PTO have a membership?
Well, I have a membership, so I can just grab it. But yeah, I mean, that is also something we could eventually look into. There's some other stuff that we were talking about too, which would be a finance thing in a later conversation, but perhaps like a credit card would be easier than some of the things that, because a lot of, I'm just gonna briefly go out of this for a second. Before, what was happening is people were using their own money and then reimbursing themselves for the PTO, which is totally fine, but it's a huge pain with check writing, and it could get a little, hairy. Like if I put down a deposit for $2,000 to something, and then I'm like, hey, PTO, pay me $2,000. It starts to get, not that you couldn't retrace steps or whatever, but checks are clunky. It's all kind of, I don't know. We could just perhaps look into something else that would be a little easier. Also, checks cost money. But we have a bunch of them, so, right? Yeah, okay. Anyway, next meeting agenda items. So this is obviously could change. We just wanted to throw out what may happen. We will put out the agenda in advance too. Our goal is to, we did put it out today in advance as well. It was just this morning, but we're trying to do it a couple of days earlier so people, if there's something that they wanted to add or needed to change, they could get on there. And I think we might change the format slightly so that everyone can get a chance, like each committee would have a chance to talk about what's going on with their stuff. Anyway, so nominating committee chairs, a bylaw presentation and vote in the bylaws, a little bit of discussion, and hopefully, some thank yous for open house because I'm sure all of you are going to volunteer your time. And then the run at work day would be upcoming, and that would be something that we could discuss. Our next meeting is Wednesday, September 13th, here at 6 p.m. And now, what questions do you all have for us?
Who can I ask, who's new? Has anybody not been to a PTO meeting before? Are you guys, are you guys new to just the district? With your hands up?
We do introductions. I think
So,
that's-
maybe we should do introductions for, because, I'd like to know who it is. Yeah, let's do. Who wants to start, on this side or this side?
And what Taylor?
My name is Kristen Brewer. I recently moved back to the area after a long time away. My son, Elliot, is joining the 4K at primary in like 7 years. So
20 days.
I'm a software engineer too, with a math background. I feel like I'm gonna get signed up for things, the same thing. I'm already signed up for things, great. So I've never done this, I have one child, so, and I'll probably do it.
Wow, that is like, I love that slogan.
It's a very
It's like kind of, what do you call that, a vice of mine that like, yeah, okay, I'll just do it. I shouldn't say that out loud.
No, that'll come back to.
Oh, also, if we're gonna like random vices, I know how to fix printers. Sorry. So,
Perfect. I know, right?
I shouldn't tell people
I'm
that.
gonna need to get your number.
A hidden skill. Nope, don't have a number.
All right.
Hi, I'm Steve Newcomer. I'm a parent, community member, and principal. I'm a principal here at the intermediate school, and I also have 2 daughters that attend here for the 8th grade and 7th grade. We've been married for 14 years, and it's been, I'm really excited for the year to start. I know kids may not be ready yet, but I'm ready to roll, and we're excited to get started. And, this is, by the way, a really awesome turnout.
Yeah, we're so excited. Thank you all for coming.
I am Jessica Clark. I have a soon-to-be 4th grader, 3rd grader, and incoming 4K. And I am a graphic designer, so I already agreed to help out with some of the graphic flyers.
We appreciate you.
Hi, I'm Kristen Ehlers. I have a soon-to-be 3rd grader and soon-to-be 5K, both boys. And I'm a little afraid to say this, but I'm also a CPA. I'm not going to fight you on the taxes.
I like how you guys scare people what they do. We want you guys to tell us. We're gonna have to like hunt you down and promise.
We need to know where you live.
Oh, we will. We won't, we will.
We might have your email.
And we have it recorded.
Just kidding. Okay.
Okay, I'm Gina Hill. I have, let's see, 2 girls at Merton now, so Kate's going into 3rd and Lucy into 7th, and then I have 2 older kids that are in high school and now college. And we've been here for 4 years. We love Wisconsin and Merton and everything, so happy community members. And I teach piano lessons and music classes in the afternoon, so this will probably be the only meeting I can actually attend. So I wanted to get here before I start teaching next week. So
I saw that your name mentioned on the.
yeah, it was so kind. Everyone's like so kind to give word of mouth recommendations.
Yeah,
I just got a golden student call me this morning, so I was so happy it's a perfect fit. So
Well, I was
So
like,
mine-
I'm a piano. Let me write this down.
yeah, her kids are
to
yes.
I mean, they absolutely love
There you go.
Nice. Your kids are great.
I am Shelby Heinley. I have 4 kids that attend Merton. My oldest will be in 8th grade, and then I have a 6th grader, a 3rd grader, and a 1st grader. Got them all. I also substitute teach here, and I love it here. And also a copy mom. No,
So she might need
So she
your
knows-
printer
So,
service.
printer service. We got new copiers this year, so I don't know them now.
They run the same way. Shelby.
Okay,
You'll be
good,
okay.
good. I am here to help in small capacities as needed.
It's okay. I will be texting.
I know you will. Like this morning. I'm Carrie Mead. I moved here 3 years ago, so we're not from anywhere in Wisconsin. And I have 3 girls, a 6th grader, 4th grader, and 1st grader. And I'm sure
Yep.
I'll help with it.
You've already been helping Rachel out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my kids.
Check that teacher
They've all
box.
been here.
I'm Kristen Miller. I have 3 kids that go to school here. My daughter's going into 6th grade, and then my boys are going into My background is in human resources, but I told my family I retired from that when I quit my job like 4 years ago. So I've been subbing at the school here, moved here almost 2 years ago, and volunteering here, and I'm super excited to be a part of the PTO.
My name's Allie Huey. We moved to the district from Chicago about 7 years ago. I have 2 daughters. My oldest will start K4, Eleanor, and my youngest will be 2 in a couple weeks.
My name is Jennifer Melezova. This is will be our second year in the district. I have 2 boys, a 3rd grader and a 5-year, and my CPA license has expired. No longer active. I'm also familiar with numbers and tax returns.
I'm Sean Johnson. I have 3 boys in the district. One is going into 5th grade, and I have a couple of 3rd graders. And I'm a clinical psychologist. I don't know how helpful that'll be, but I am married to a lawyer, and I like to volunteer.
Yes, does Larry want to read the bylaws?
I already told him he's going to that.
I'm sure he's thrilled.
All right, I'm Brian Kelly. I have a 5K, so this is our second year in the school district. I didn't do anything last year, but I thought I should give it a shot.
Yeah, for you.
He's our software engineer.
I already have that.
Get it now.
You got it.
So is she though.
Kristen said she'll do 80.
Probably.
Hi, I'm Ashley Renz. This is our 3rd year, going into our 3rd year in the district. I have 2 daughters, one going into 8th grade here at the intermediate school, and one going into 3rd grade at the primary school. I didn't see you before. And I handle all things commercial and business contracts at this point. So that's all I do.
Matthew, do you want to go?
No, I like being hiding in front.
I just really feel like you should go first so that we don't skip you.
Why
don't you go?
I was trying, but I'm Matthew. I've got 4 kids, only 2 of them are still here, because I now have a 10th grader, 9th grader, 8th grader, and Charlie's 4th grade?
Yeah.
Yep, 4th grade.
I feel
Whew.
I don't know what.
Oh, it's rough.
Shelby struggled.
I tech and other stuff. I'm actually a pastor, but this is more fun on a regular basis and more useful for the PTO.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I'm Rachel Krenke. I have 1 kid. Put on different, opportunities and stuff to involve the community and grow the community. One of our projects is the teacher lounges right now, with a lot of wonderful donations from people, and those are almost done. I was kind of involved in PTO in the past. I helped on a couple of the different things, ran like the pumpkin decorating last year and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it. But I'm excited to help. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, and I'm the book fair chair.
Yes, I
I
was
would
saying
like
you're
to bring
missing
that back
like the
on my
biggest
book
thing. You ran
You're the
like
book
such
fair
a good
fairy.
I
book
am.
fair.
So I would like to actually bring that back under the PTO.
We would like that a lot. We will welcome that.
So, my name is Ron Russ. I am the superintendent. I am looking for a business manager, so. CPA, retired CPA, we got this, their experience, we've got all sorts of things,
This is like
so.
a LinkedIn.
Accepting resumes as we speak. But I've been here for 13 years now, starting my 13th year. Been a community member in the village of Merton for 20, going on my 20th year. I live right up in the Park River subdivision, right over there. I have 3 children, all have come through the Merton schools. I have a junior at Madison, a freshman to be at Milwaukee, and a junior at Arrowhead. So in that part of life now, so which is great. So, and yes, I have a used car lot in my driveway. So, sorry, but no, it's great. Looking forward to a great school year, and excited to get rolling. So,
Us
thanks
too.
for having us. Lots to do.
Perfect.
Okay, so did.
Next
Question.
Yes.
So I know we're over the time, but as someone brand new to this, could you give like a
2-sentence for each committee of what their goal is or what they are supposed to be achieving so that we know more of what we're signing up for?
Sure.
Yeah, I want you.
Okay. You guys don't know how many Google Docs I'm in charge of? All of them.
And I can never find them.
I know. Okay. Sorry, guys.
We always have to pair Katie.
I'm gonna, yeah. Okay, so the finance committee will work directly with Brooke and she's not gonna be you are gonna be part of the committee because those two, treasurer and finance, will work hand in hand, work with Dr. Russ to determine if, what qualifies. Because there are a certain number of projects that people may put in a request for that are actually supposed to be covered by the school funds, not the PTO funds. So you'll work with Dr. Russ on that. We also have other programs such as like Raise Right, I think falls under finance, and that does a little overlap into the fundraising committee as well. So that's a program that has been done in the past but not really talked about. It's where you can purchase gift cards and a portion of the gift card sale goes back to the PTO. So as a consumer, you're not spending any more money you are because you're shopping, but you're buying your gift card that you're going to buy anyway, and then it goes back to the PTO. So all dollar things in the finance committee, right? The communications committee is kind of like the marketing team, so that would be the graphic designer, the website, anything related to social media, the YouTube channel, and then our digital sign. We want to make sure that everything that we're doing in the PTO is communicated out through all of those different channels and that everything's streamlined. So what we're hoping for is like the events committee or fundraising committee, if you have things you want to promote, you would come to the communications committee and have them draw up a flyer or a banner or something, a whole set of marketing paraphernalia, right, to use in whatever capacity that it needs to be used. Yeah.
Will you be bringing back the, community flyer?
So I don't know about that, but I know like as far as communicating out to parents, we'll definitely want to utilize the weekly communications through.
I mean, for like non-parents, can you remember?
I don't know anything about that, so I think that that's a good, that is something for the communications team to discuss. And thank you. There's a lot, again, that we, the four of us, don't even know happened in the past. So, and we're here for new ideas too. So if you think of something or you know of something that was done in the past that was useful as a community or a parent, bring it in and let's talk about it. Okay, back to events. That's non-fundraisers. That's like parent outreach. There was some seminars last year offered by the Gals Institute, which is a local counseling service. They came in and gave seminars to parents about children. So coordinating events like that, coordinating the family night, we could expand and do things, parent night with kids, and there's just so many opportunities. So anything event or activity oriented that is not intended to raise money would be in the events category. Engagement. Yeah, everything like that. Fundraising is obvious. All the fundraising. Make money for us, please. And that could be in however form that looks. Is it a virtual fundraising option? Is it something in person? Is it, do we want to sell candy bars? TBD. That's the fundraising committee to decide.
And I have to say, we've had people coming out of the woodwork with ideas, like reaching out to us saying, they would like to partner with you, so.
Are we ruled out from doing version 2.0 of Spiritware?
No, nope, not at all. So the Spiritware fits into fundraising.
Okay.
And that is a piece of that. So I know they just closed the first round. So either having another round, which I think has been done in the past, having another section of Spirit where we're selling like around Christmas or before Christmas, so people can gift their Merton apparel. Passing that along, we'll definitely want to do that.
Well, I'm gonna talk about that, because I feel like as someone that came into the district mid-year, this is something that should happen a couple times a year, because you don't want children to feel left out.
I'd like to have it on site though too at some
Sure,
different.
and I think,
places.
I don't understand, if you see with mid-city sports, like, they have all the schools here when you walk in except for Merton's. So there's a lot of things that we can do
Is
there.
there a contract with them, and is there any way that, who do you talk to like get permission for the logos and stuff?
Let's talk about that,
Okay.
because there's
Yeah.
more information that I think Jen Mapsick is the point person
Oh,
on
okay.
Spirit Wear currently. And so she still has an 8th grader, and I believe she did sign up for the committee. So
Okay.
it's a matter of getting her involved and starting to share her information that she knows.
And she is, yeah, we did talk, and she is open to, like, handing off the info and showing someone what she had done in the past and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
Lots of opportunity there. Staff support committee is pretty much anything to support our staff and teachers at school. We here, the board here, we've been brainstorming ideas since May on what we thought would be useful or helpful to support staff at school. So we have some ideas that we'll pass along to the staff support committee, but that also encompasses room parents if that becomes back under the PTO umbrella. It would include like the staff appreciation week, or throughout the year there were periodically, months that they would give like a little gift or a cookie or pies or something like that. So again, as I said before, to whatever capacity the committee decides, like this is appropriate and this is how much we want to give, we're kind of leaving that kind of thing up to you guys. And finally, the very important election committee, we'll kind of talk about when the bylaws circle around, but that will be the group to help facilitate and make sure that the election that typically occurs in the spring is fair, is done correctly, that we're following all the rules, that the nomination process is handled appropriately, and that's that. And of course, throughout the year, we might like come up with a new activity or an event that like, oh, we could use a new committee leading this project. But hopefully for now, this kind of covers the bases for what the PTO needs. Sorry, that was not
We,
short.
It was not 2 sentences.
we also have a document, and I think it was in that, it was in the survey, but we have a document that we can
Like
descriptions.
Yep.
provide.
So, I worked all summer. I slaved for you on job descriptions for each committee and role so that kind of those expectations are out there of like, okay, I'm interested in what this committee does. What does that mean? So that information exists out there. Is it set in stone? No, of course not. But it creates some kind of guideline so we all kind of know what is expected.
It's also 50 pages long.
I don't think it is. It's like 34.
So I put it way down.
Don't be dramatic.
Katie has a really good way with words. There's a lot of words.
Many.
Come on, Grace.
No, it's great.
Working on it.
She's very eloquent.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
Any other
So
questions?
that's
Yeah,
it,
any other
unless there's
questions?
any other.
I mean, I do have stuff for the fundraising chair committee. If anybody else is here, I have brought some stuff to hand over to you.
Yes.
So we can probably like adjourn the meeting, and then if anyone wants to stay to discuss potential roles as a chair.
Or questions or whatever.
Yeah,
or
we're
just
just
hang
gonna
out,
hang around for a
get
little
to
bit.
know us.
One really quick thing to think about with, I made note of, to say, with childcare, because I've experienced this, and I'll be doing this before. If you then figure out what space you want here, and get on a calendar, I guess you can lock those in, whether it be the gym, because I already know like Warhawks and the volleyball pretty much all such. So Jude, I mean, like getting those out there, so especially if you want the gym. If not, then we have other spaces like the library or cafeteria too. The sooner we lock that in, then the sooner.
Well, and basketball happens in October.
Yeah, but as long as you get on the calendar first.
We haven't met yet for basketball, so
So-
let's get on the calendar.
You could have them in the lounge and they go clean all
They're not gonna. My kid did.
Love it.
All right,
Are we done?
I think so.
Yeah.
Thank
you all for coming. Super looking forward to this year.
Okay.